Here we have a gentleman's armoire. I really hope I pronounced that correctly. I'd hate to think that I butchered this beautiful French word with my northeast of England accent. This gorgeous piece of furniture dates back to the 1920s. I think it's by far the most interesting piece of furniture I've ever worked on. And I still can't believe that it was free on Facebook Marketplace. It's not in horrendous condition. There is a couple of repairs that needs to be done, but mainly it is just tired and worn out. So this one is a huge project. It's going to get lots and lots of McCluskey woodwork TLC. So stay tuned and see how this one turns out. Hello and welcome to another video. You came back for more. So an armoire often contains shelves and drawers, as well as hanging rails. And that's the main difference between just being a wardrobe. Although I am better at pronouncing the word wardrobe. The original purpose of an armoire was not always for storing clothes like it does today. Initially, it was used to store arms, weapons and tools. So the name armoire came from the Latin word armorium, meaning a chest for storing armour. See, can you tell I've been doing my homework? Now back to the restoration. So as you can see, I've taken off the doors and I sanded these by hand. I started with a 60 grit and worked my way up to a 240 grit. The doors have a lovely little decorative feature, so I'll be looking to make that detail stand out a little bit more than it does already. Unfortunately, it took a lot longer than what it looks here to sand in between those fiddly bits. After sanding, I use white spirits to clean away all the dust. A well-earned brew and a big cheesy grin. If you remember at the beginning, there was a trouser rail missing. This is a tie rail that was attached to one of the doors. It's exactly the same size as the other 3 trouser rails. I will use this to replace the missing trouser rail. There was absolutely loads of hardware to remove on this piece. Safety before style. So here I'm using wood bleach. This is to lighten the wood as much as possible and remove any stains. I left the wood bleach overnight and then I rinsed the bleach away with 2 rounds of warm water. See if you can make out the magic word that I'm spelling here. Whilst I had the piece on its side, I took the opportunity to clean the bottom. I carefully hand sanded all of the lovely detail at the front. So in order to make the tie rail the same as the trouser rails, I would need to create a right angled bend. And to do this I would need to heat the rod. So I got myself some MAP gas, and as you can see here I'm just discovering that you can't use a propane torch head with MAP gas. So this is my new turbo torch, which is compatible with MAP gas. MAP gas burns 20% hotter than propane, so it'll heat the metal a lot quicker. It can reach 3,730 degrees Fahrenheit. And as you can see here, I was able to bend it really easily. What a cute little guy. Speaking of cute, it's time to take a break with Charlie and Sully the Beach Boys. That's enough now, boys. Let's get back to work. Here I'm just using Barkeeper's friend to clean up the hardware as much as possible before I respray it. I resprayed the hardware a copper colour. The reason I did this was because none of it matched and it was all pretty dull. I noticed in the bottom of the armoire that there was some shoe rails missing, and I had some spare curtain poles in my garage, so I'm using them to make some new shoe rails. There was also one piece of baseboard missing, so I thought it would be best to replace the whole baseboard so that the whole thing matched. I used my mitre saw to create the 45-degree angles. rain really tried to spoil my fun on this day, but it didn't succeed. I applied Howard feed and wax to the whole of the inside of the armoire. It really did bring the wood back to life, and it also smells amazing, so that was a double bonus. I applied Danish wood oil to the shelves and the drawer fronts. There's lots of advantages to Danish wood oil. It's easy to apply with a cloth or a brush. It also dries quickly within about 4 to 6 hours. It's also food and toy safe when it's dry, and it helps the wood to repel dirt, and it's also water resistant. It's made to be absorbed into wood. It protects and nourishes and feeds the wood from the inside. And if that's not enough, it dries a lovely smooth satin finish. There may be only one downside, that it requires multiple coats. Each time it needs to cure for the 4 to 6 hours, so it can be a lengthy application process, but not if you're a patient person. I also applied Howard feed and wax to the inside of the drawers, as it gives a nice touch and it smells lovely when you open up the drawers. So for the doors I used a mixture of walnut and oak colours to create a contrast. And for the lovely detail I used an acrylic gold leaf paint. And finally, for the finish, I used polyurethane. You always know that you're on the home straight when it's time to start adding the hardware. If you made it this far into the video, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this project, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for future videos. The original cupboard lock was broken and there was no key, so I replaced it for a brand new one. Thank you once again for watching my restoration on this wonderful piece of furniture. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the final results.